Imagine having the chance to rewrite your past, to correct mistakes that have haunted you. It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? But what if that opportunity turned out to be a tedious journey through a well-trodden path? This is the dilemma faced in the anime adaptation of Masayuki Abe's novel, New Saga. Produced by Satsu and Studio Clutch, the story follows Kyle, a magic swordsman, who, after vanquishing the Demon King, finds himself on the brink of death. A mysterious crimson crystal transports him 4 years back in time to his once ruined hometown, where he discovers that his loved ones are still alive. This premise is ripe for unexpected twists and emotional depth. So why does New Saga feel so disappointingly predictable? How does a narrative centered around time travel become a monotonous, formulaic experience? Let's be clear. I found New Saga to be quite underwhelming. There's nothing more frustrating than investing time in a series that feels like a chore. And unfortunately, this anime lacks the excitement and character dynamics that could have alleviated the monotony. My primary issue with New Saga is how effortlessly Kyle navigates his journey. Armed with foreknowledge of his people's impending doom, he sidesteps any potential obstacles with ease. In most time travel narratives, altering the past comes with significant consequences. But here, everything unfolds in a straightforward manner, devoid of any real tension or stakes for either Kyle or his companions. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. New Saga does sprinkle in moments of dry humor, but these instances are too few and far between to sustain a consistent comedic tone throughout its 12 episodes. The characters themselves are archetypes that feel all too familiar in the fantasy genre. For instance, Lisa, Kyle's monk brawler, embodies the classic jealous character trope, glaring at every female in Kyle's vicinity without ever making a move herself. Then there's Saran Layla, the quintessential big guy, who is both clueless and overly serious during battles, often finding himself in ridiculous situations, yet remaining fiercely loyal. Urza Excess, the elf summoner, despite her greater power, relies on the same two entities for her most powerful spells, which feels repetitive. Lastly, Sildonia Zealous, a humanoid version of Kyle's magical weapon, adds a touch of humor, though much of her dialogue is delivered with a mouthful of snacks. In addition to the ease of Kyle's mission, the overall plot progression feels rather uneventful. Battles that seem like they could be challenging are resolved almost instantaneously, lacking the visual flair that could have made them more engaging. A particularly pivotal fight towards the series' conclusion left me perplexed, as the characters approached it with an attitude that felt far too casual for what was supposed to be a climactic moment. On a positive note, there were moments that genuinely made me laugh, primarily due to clever dialogue and unexpected comedic timing. However, I must express my discomfort with the instances of homophobia and racism that appear throughout the series. While such themes are not entirely uncommon in anime, they are certainly unnecessary and detract from the overall experience. I can tolerate fan service, but when characters are openly mocked for their androgyny, it's time for a serious conversation about representation and sensitivity in storytelling. In conclusion, New Saga ultimately feels like a missed opportunity. Time travel is a fascinating narrative device, but what's the point if the story doesn't explore its creative potential? Kyle's journey could have led to surprising developments, altered relationships, and deeper character growth. Yet none of that materializes. Instead, we find ourselves on a predictable journey, making sweeping changes to the world without any real challenges. It's a classic case of following the well-worn path through familiar territory, leaving viewers yearning for something more innovative and engaging.